Hello and welcome back. In this tutorial I just want to take a brief look at tidying up the code. Now for a game, as I mentioned before, as a game this small, it's not really very important. But if you started to work on a game and let's just say that you didn't divide out your scripts when you perhaps should have, you could end up with a script that runs to several thousand lines of code. Now you probably should, whenever it makes logical sense to divide one script into several smaller ones, you probably should do it. So what I've done is I've divided up the regions here for game control script. It just makes it a little easier to find where everything is, find a particular method based on what sort of function it performs. And if you were to say have a 3,000 or 4,000 line script and you maybe haven't looked at it in a little while, this will make it a little easier to get back into working on it. So I've just divided them up into game state methods with start game, restart game and handle end game. This is in game control. In score methods, I've handle player score, check if game won. You can pause it if you like to see how it's all organized. So in main menu, if any methods that have to do with a UI button being pressed on the main menu. Paddle script is pretty small, so I've just left it. And ball script, I've divided it into ball checking methods. So that's counting the time since the paddle or the boundary hit, check if the ball is in bounds, and I have to put the rest into ball serve methods. Now what I've also done is I've looked at the access level of the fields here and I've changed most of them to private. Now all of them in ball script. In game control I've left is game 1, and in paddle script I have left the paddle number and is player controlled. Now you could set these to private and access them through a method, or you could look into properties another way, but I've just left them. And the reason you might actually make something private is to prevent it being accessed in error from outside the class. So if it's public, anything with a reference to the script can access it, and if you make an error of this type it could be kind of tricky to find, because it's not an error as such, it's not a code error, it's a human error, and it could be very tricky to locate it. So when it's private they're only accessible from within the script, so that just reduces the possibility of that happening, and that's kind of considered the better way to do things. It's largely up to you to how you want to do it. So that's pretty much it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.